Hello everyone, welcome to the Cardinal Chatter. We're your hosts,
Jessica
and Lucy. Let's start with this week's announcements.
Congratulations to our Student of the Week, Alissa Zerneke, nominated by Miss Westman.
If you bought a candygram this week, they will be delivered next Thursday and Friday.
Next week is Christmas week, and we'll be doing dress-up themes.
Monday is festive flannel.
Tuesday is tree topper, so wear your favorite Christmas hat.
Wednesday is ugly sweater.
Thursday is mistletoe, so wear your favorite Christmas socks.
And Friday is Christmas pajamas.
After today, there are 5 school days until break, so keep up the good work.
Now, on this podcast, we have 3 topics that we'll talk about. The first one is about just a little bit about the dance team and their season.
And that's with Alissa Zerneke. And then we have an interview with Miss Kressly about Act 10 and what that kind of all entails.
And then lastly, we'll be talking a little about one act and their season, and we have an interview with Stubbe.
So on to those interviews.
I'm here with a special guest.
Hi, I'm Alissa Zerneke.
All right, so last week the dance team had a competition at Menominee. How do you feel about last week's performance?
I think that Menominee is a really fun competition to go to kind of get our team started and our season started for the year. It's really exciting to just put your dances out there in front of a crowd that knows dance, and it really just gets us ready for the more important competitions to come.
All right, so right after Menominee, you have another competition, the Little Shoot Invite. How are you feeling going into that invite, knowing you're going to see your biggest competitors?
It's really exciting because we don't get to see our competitors very much until the end of the season. But the Little Shoot Invite is very exciting because we'll get to see them right away, meaning that we'll get to see their dances, know what we're up against, and also know how much harder we need to practice. It really just makes us kind of like lock in for the season and like be prepared.
Now, one of the competitors you'll be seeing at that invite has the same song as you. How do you feel about that?
When our team first found out, it was kind of a shock. It's really not something that's very common since there's so many songs out there that can be used. But I think that this will be a really good test to see like how hard we can really work and like work as a team. It also gives us a great advantage that we know about that whole little situation having the same song and they don't, because it just makes us want to work harder than they are.
All right, so how do you feel about your dances this season? Do you think they're good enough to compete against your competitors?
Yeah, so I think that in the last few years, Prescott has really revolutionized the whole dance as a sport. We've come up with new ideas and new styles that aren't really seen before. And we're doing that same exact thing this year. We are doing a little bit different than we did last year, but I totally think that our team is very capable of performing these. We just really have to be able to embody the dance and what it's trying and the story it's trying to tell. And yeah, I definitely think that we're good competition, and I think that it'll go really well.
All right, so going into your senior year, what are your biggest goals for the season?
My biggest goals for my senior year are probably just to finish that out strong. I think that since I won't be dancing ever again, I just really have to take it all in and enjoy all the moments, even all the hard ones and the ones that I don't necessarily enjoy. Parts of it I don't enjoy, but I'm very excited to see how we do, and I'm very excited to see where this team can go this year.
All right, thank you, Alissa.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we're here with Miss Kressly. We're going to interview her about Act 10. So, Lucy, you have anything to add?
Just let's start off with, what is Act 10?
Act 10 is a restrictive law that stripped teachers' unions of all their power, their bargaining power, everything. The union still exists, but they stripped us of any negotiation with the school boards or the superintendent.
So that's not good.
Not good.
We don't like it. Okay, so how did this affect you and your job?
Well, when it first happened, And it added that the school district could charge us for stuff, more for retirement, or not retirement, but for something. Anyway, the first year it happened, I lost $7,000 in salary.
Dang, that's a lot of money.
Yep, because we had to pay more for our health care, more for this, more for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I lost $7,000.
That's awful.
That's really bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
So, like, with that, like, did it make your job, like, less enjoyable?
Yeah.
Yeah, just, like, knowing that, like, you were working towards something that, like, you were getting paid more, and now you aren't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not great.
So when was Act 10 abolished?
Act 10 was abolished about 2 weeks ago.
Wow, so very recent.
Very recently. So a lower court judge abolished it, and then now it's starting the appeal process, and it'll probably end up in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, it's abolished. So we have our bargaining rights back and lots of rights back.
That's great. So if it's, like, abolished, does that mean... Like,
It wasn't abolished, it was struck down.
Okay, so does that, like, is there, like, any chance that it could come back?
Yes. Depends on what the next level of court, the appellate court, decides.
Okay.
And then that's when someone else would send it to the next level of court, if there's a next level, and then there's the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, and they'll probably end up making the final decision.
Okay, are you optimistic of a long-term change in our district?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think that change is going to look like for
I
the
think
school?
we'll have increased salaries.
Okay.
Depends on what people want. Like, I don't know of anyone that this is happening to, but some teachers in some districts, like, don't have a 30-minute lunch, and we're guaranteed a 30-minute lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a way to make sure, if the district isn't giving us a 30-minute lunch, to give us a 30-minute lunch.
Yeah, that's really good. I know that, like, Miss K, like, doesn't have, like, she doesn't necessarily have a lunch unless people accidentally, like, miss their lesson. So, like, and I know that, like, that's kind of a thing that it's, like, a recent thing. That's not necessarily because of Act 10. But, like, does that like affect you in that way? Like, do you not get, like, your guaranteed rights that, like, you should have?
I do almost every single day, except on days when there's schedule changes at either the middle school or the high school.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they back to back, and I just have 15 minutes to get between here and the middle school, and there's no lunch or prep.
Yeah, which just, like, makes your job harder because you have no time to, like, number one, eat, and number two, like, if you're trying to grade or whatever, that makes your job a lot harder, which is not fair. Do you know how the Act 10 might affect the referendum and the referendum spending?
I don't know.
Okay.
I really just don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you, Ms. Kressly.
All right. Thank you for interviewing me.
So I'm here with a special guest,
Abby Stubbe.
and Abby is going to talk about her experience with One Act this year. So just to, like, give us a rundown of what A Murder of Crows is about.
Okay, so Murder of Crows, it was a retelling of Hansel and Gretel, the fairy tale that most people know. It's the two children, they go to a witch's house, and she tries to eat them. She doesn't, in some stories. And this one was told through, like, the eyes of, like, crows. So mainly everyone in the cast was a crow at some point, telling the story, and going through along in that little journey. Yeah.
And who did you play?
I played the witch, the old lady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just give us, like, a little rundown of the season. Like, just kind of how districts and sectionals, states, all of that, how that went.
Yeah, it was definitely a different process than last year, especially since we weren't doing comedy this year and we had to be a lot more serious with our study of crows, and like just seeing how crows acted and really get into that headspace. Yeah, it was pretty good with like districts, whatnot. I mean, I personally felt like I was a lot more at ease, relaxed with districts. I felt a little bit more prepared. It was really good. I mean, I liked our group this year, and it was it was a really nice experience.
So I know that we had to do a little, like at the very beginning, we had to do a little bit of a study of crows. How did that go for you?
Oh, okay, well, personally, I didn't find any crows, like, at all.
Which is fair.
We had to go outside and look at crows for a little bit, and I'm like, there are no crows around. I thought there would be. The only crow that I saw was, like, the morning of, when we had to share what we found, and it was by the school, and I was like, okay, that's nice. So I had to search up a video and just of different, like, sounds they make, like weird clicking noise, and yeah, their characteristics and whatnot. It was very interesting.
Have you seen improvement, or do you feel anything major changed?
Any new improvements? I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I always felt not really nervous to be on stage. I mean, sure, there's like a little bit beforehand, but I mean, I just felt more comfortable this year. I don't know. I feel like I got a lot more better at, again, like I said, understanding the character, really like digging deep into how their feelings and whatnot, especially with this villain lady, because villains are a lot more they're harder in a sense, because I need to think about it a little bit, like why did she do this, and whatnot.
I feel like it's kind of hard to connect with the character too, because like
it is.
if you're not like a mean person, like it's gonna be really hard to like do that. Mm-hmm. And it's just so I feel like that was like probably hard for you, because like you're not like, you're a very kind person, so I feel like being like this mean old witch, like it's definitely gotta be like a character switch.
Yeah, it was a little harder this year, but I don't know, it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I
also feel like, I mean, I wasn't like in One Act last year, but like comparative to last year, I feel like the changes that we made throughout like the show and like the season were like, I feel like a lot less drastic. Like I feel like we had to do a lot, like we just had a really polished show, and like I feel like the only thing that we really like dug more into like was just like getting more into character for like everyone. But I feel like everyone did a really good job about that, so that's really good. So when we got awards, how did it feel to you to get perfect scores from all the judges at state?
That was insane. Yeah. I mean, it was really nice to like feel that like we worked so hard on that One Act. We definitely like put our all into it, and it was really nice that it was seen throughout like the judges, and that it was like that good, that we're capable of doing that good, and there's so much more that we can do, and like so much that we're capable of. It was really cool. I don't know, I was definitely stunned.
And just like being the only team at state, or the only show at state that like got perfect scores is kind of crazy.
I know. Like, okay, so we are that good.
Yeah. Okay, so then for you, how does it feel to get the Outstanding Actor Award 2 years in a row?
Well, it was, I mean, I don't know, I feel grateful, especially for the help that I've gotten, like the support from everyone, the group, Thomas, Miss Kay, my other fellow actors. I don't know, I felt like I was really like pushed to really like dig into my characters and do really well, and I was really determined to do that and just show off the character to everyone. It was crazy. I wasn't expecting it, honestly. It was I don't know, and it made me really happy.
Yes,
That
so
good.
true. So then, and then when we found out that we might be going to nationals, so we got nominated to go to this national convention to represent the state of Wisconsin
Mhm.
in like Indiana or something in June. So like, how does that make you feel about that? I mean, I'm not sure if we're going yet, but how does that make you feel?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy number 2. I mean, going from like perfect scores to then being brought to like nationals. That's insane. I mean, we didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that would be a crazy experience.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Just to go and see how that is. I mean, not that it's a push that we have to go, but it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. That was like stunned number 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, we are really good.
Yeah.
We're really good at what we do.
Like,
I mean,
representing the entire state is like crazy.
Mhm.
Like, and I feel like a lot of other people want to go too, so we'll see if we do. But
yeah.
yeah, I think that would be really cool if we went.
Mhm.
So on that note, thank you for letting us interview
Thank
you. Thank you.
All right, so that's all for this week's podcast. Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next week.